Hi, my name is Anna, and today's topic is about budgeting and the different types of budgeting that you can do. Some people will do a future budget or income-driven budgeting, and others, for example, like myself, I like to do back budgeting, reverse budgeting, or every 3-month budgeting. Income-focused budgeting means that you look at your income. So, for example, you know how much you earn every 2 weeks or every month. You know that total. And then from there, you divvy out to each spending category. So, for example, how much you give for groceries, rent, things like that. Typically, people will put this in a spreadsheet, and then they'll have different limitations for each category. For example, $100 for gas every month. And then at the end of the month, if you're getting close to the end, for example, on March 30th, you want to go grocery shopping, but you've already spent your limit for that month, and all the money's out, it means you're going to have to wait until April 1st for the next spending. So that is the income driven. And then I'm not sure of like a good term to call this, but I call it like reverse budgeting. And so what you're going to do is you're going to look at the last 3 months. And the reason to do that is to find the average. So you review the last 3 months of your spending. So for example, you're going to look at your bank account, your checking account, wherever you spend money from. So if you have a credit card, you're going to look at those statements. So for example, I typically only do my spending from a credit card. I don't spend any cash. And the reason I do it from my credit card is because I can keep track of it. It's really easy for me to be able to monitor that. So anyways, I use a credit card. And when I do it that way, I'll look back at the last 3 months. And let me give you an example. So for January, I would look at how much I've spent in January for groceries, gas, all of my expenses. And then I'll do that for the 3 months. So January, February, and March. And I'll keep track of that in a spreadsheet for each category. And I think right now I've got 30 different categories. I'll do another video explaining all of the categories that I have, but I think I have 30, maybe 20, but I think I have 30. I'm not sure. I digress. So I've got different categories, and then I've got, the months across the top, and then I'm going to total all of my expenses. So the gas row is going to be totaled in the final column. The grocery row is going to be totaled in the final column. And then I'm going to figure out my average for each category. So for example, if my total after 3 months for buying gas for my car is $300, it means my average is $100 every month. And so that means I know I will put down or keep track of that. For me, gasoline is roughly $100 each month. And I'll do that for every category. I'll find the average from those past 3 months, and then I'll add that up. When I add up all of those numbers, that tells me how much money I'm going to need to make each month in order to feel comfortable. Sometimes that number is a lot higher than what my income was for the last 2 or 3 months, and other times it's much lower, and it means I have a little bit more flexibility with my budget, which is a good thing, right? That's kind of our goal, is we always want a little bit more money left over. So anyways, I will explain more in depth about each budgeting strategy, income focused or average focused, and then you can think about for yourself which would better match your personality or your income style. So maybe, for example, you have a really strict income and you feel like the income driven is going to be better, or maybe you know that you have a little more flexibility or your spending habits tend to be much more flexible. So maybe that's going to be the better route for you. So for example, maybe you go out to eat some months, maybe you don't, maybe you drive more some months than you do others. So maybe you're going to need that average rather than that more income driven. And you can decide which one's the best match for you.